Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Odie is in here taking photos.
Sorry, distracting everyone.
Yeah, she has kind of got us off to a different start here. Well, first of all, I'd like to say I hope that both of you had a great holiday with your families and friends and all that good stuff. And all of our listeners, the same to you. Man, there's we're going to do somewhat of a recap of some of the shows that we've done, and one of the interesting ones to me was Sterling.
Well, hold up. Let's set it up a little bit as far as just like this year has been just amazing as far as the guests that we were able to have on the show.
True.
I mean, just we're not going to be able to cover everybody,
right?
No.
But just far as just from Daryl Talley to Kurt Warner to Sterling Sharp to Christy Martin, just all the amazing conversations that we were able to have.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so wonderful to have those people. Some were, in studio, some called in, but just to have the experience to sit down and talk with these athletes and just that their life experiences, what they're doing now, their past. I just want to say thank you personally to both of you, Hollis and Carl, for giving me the opportunity to come on to this podcast. Matt Murphy, he's been a great producer. Dale Cooper's been nice. WCHS has been great to us as well, and the audience, of course. But yeah, this year to me, I think we just had some phenomenal guests. And
and and I'm going to go back to Sterling. Because I thought how you think we would get guests. Everybody can kind of assume, well, you probably call up somebody and see if they'll come on and all that kind of stuff. And the interesting component about Sterling was he's coming through West Virginia and calls and says, "Hey, I want to be on the show."
From the Hall of Fame.
Yes, from the Hall of Fame.
From Canton, right?
From Canton. His
being inducted.
Yes.
We end up being his first interview outside of If it was at Canton, if he had an interview at Canton, we were the next actually interview that he had.
I mean, the gold jacket. I mean, I think he just took the tags off of it, right?
Exactly.
That was my first time ever seeing one.
Me too.
And just to put it in context, Sterling Sharp, he's not a visitor here. This is somewhere he's been plenty of times, and he's just so gracious. He can, if you're watching him from afar, he can come off one way, but he is a very gracious and humble person, and it was just great to get to know him a little bit better.
Well, and again, to your point, he is really a nice guy, and I think he works hard to try to come across like he might not be.
Yeah.
But he's, again, here's a guy who's coming to West Virginia State when I'm coaching and working with the players like he's a coach, and buying uniforms.
Buying uniforms, sponsoring us when we would go to Charleston Southern,
paying for a hotel
and food.
I mean, who does that?
And we're going to try to get him another Hall of Fame jacket here locally this year. So that's in the works now. But it was just, I don't know, it was just so amazing to watch the ceremony and the inductions, and then like the next Monday he's here.
Yeah.
It was kind of surreal, wasn't it? And you're right. He's got that tough persona that he likes to put out there, but really, he would give you the shirt off his back. I mean,
100%.
he's got the kindest heart, one of the kindest hearts I've ever, met in my life. So
he has said to me, and I did not know this at all, and have never even thought about it. Our relationship started at the Pro Bowl, and I had gone in the Pro Bowl a year before him, and I was going on my second one, and he was just coming in on his first one. And so I was like, hey, because I didn't know him personally, but I knew we played against him. So I was like, hey, man, come on with us. We're going to go over here and go do some stuff over there and all that kind of stuff. And to this day, I had no idea really that was that impactful.
Yeah.
For him to think, and again, for him to say, okay, I'm going to drive back through West Virginia. And here's the other thing. He had to know the time. He knew the time that we were going to be on, and he got here to do the show.
He got here on time to do the show. I'm surprised he drove. I was like, you're driving? I thought he would be fly. They would fly. Right. But and I would also say, like, if you're a younger listener, if you're a parent with young, people who like football, man, go watch Sterling Sharp football highlights. He was a total receiver, and you're a Packer fan, Lisa. So
I remember him.
I'm talking about had great hands, great route running, could block, had acceleration. He was just everything you looked for in a receiver. I mean, had he not got hurt and had maybe extra 5 or 6, 7 years, we would be talking Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Sterling Sharp, Terrell Owens. That would be the 5 receivers that we would be discussing.
Well, because he was in the Rice conversation when he started coming into the league.
He was in that
conversation.
Yes, 100%. And he never really got to play with Brett Favre. I think they played 1 or 2 seasons together. Maybe
it wasn't many.
It wasn't a lot. So if he actually got to play with Hall of Fame quarterback, man, I cannot imagine where his numbers would be at right now.
And I've said this before. One of the most interesting things to me about Sterling was him, as silly as he can be, he's doing that on the NFL Sunday game. He is being that stupid, silly, crazy guy on the field.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there, I'm locked in, I'm trying to cover him. And he's sitting there and he's talking to me like, don't worry about it. I'm not getting the ball. They're not coming to me. It's going to be a run. And I'm trying to tell my other guys, don't talk to him, don't be around him, because he's going to laugh. He's going to laugh you into the end zone.
Yeah.
And to this day, of all of the things that impressed me, is that how do you play in the NFL and have that much fun in the midst of a game?
Well, he had fun with us here, so I think he knows how to have fun.
Oh, there's no question he knows how to have fun.
He's an alert talker. I think we
really
got some clips so you can hear a little bit the interview that we did.
This dude is laughing and joking. He's telling us in the huddle, why y'all even in the huddle? Y'all just playing man-to-man and blitzing.
There's a call for that.
I literally would have to tell the DBs, like, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
Don't talk to him.
Because he's going to talk you into a touchdown.
Henry Thomas would talk. Chris Doman, the late Chris Doman would talk.
That's okay. They're up front.
Johnny Randall
They're not going to be the highlight.
I even got Al Noga to talk to me a little bit.
They're not going to be on the highlight. It's going to be us.
Yeah, and so, and that's the thing about enjoying what you do.
Do you think that, I hate to interrupt, but do you think the fact that you could enjoy it so much had a lot to do with how great? Because I'm not even going to call it good, but how great you were.
No, I think what it is, Carl, is like I said about the destruction of sports. You got to be a certain way. Mm-hmm. You got to do it a certain way. You got to understand it a certain way. And I don't know if I will live long enough or talk enough to be able to explain to people that the phrase "your best is good enough" actually is.
Yeah.
And so when I was enjoying playing football at the professional level, my brother talked trash, and his trash talking was
yes,
public.
He did.
Epic. I talk trash, but I only talk to you because, man, we got 2.5, 3 hours to get through this thing. I want you to come out healthy. I want to come out healthy. You practice this week. I practice this week. In certain situations, we're going to have to go up against each other for a pass or a block, and I want your best just like you want mine. Well, guess what? That don't make you a bad guy if you win. So I always wanted it to be, I'm doing what I want to do. If you're not doing what you want to do at the level you want to do it at, it's not my fault. And so I always tried to enjoy, whether it was in Chicago or Minnesota or Tampa, I wanted to enjoy playing. And my best was good enough. I did my job better than anyone else. Because you only get an opinion if you paying bills or you got responsibility.
Yeah, man. How great with that. And to that point, that's probably just my thinking about what he said as far as enjoying the sport while you have the opportunity to. That's probably my biggest regret, being a collegiate football. I don't think I had fun enough. I don't think I enjoyed it in the moment enough. So I think that's why, because he talked about, we asked him specifically about his career ending early. I think he only played 7 or 8 seasons, and he essentially had no regrets about it. And I think that's why, just because he enjoyed it. And you could just see through the conversation, you could feel through the conversation that, he was genuine in that sentiment.
And I loved all his little sayings he had. He always had this little saying, like, your best is good enough. I mean, he had these little quotes that just kind of, keep you grounded and make you realize that it's about enjoying the moment, doing your best, but being able to enjoy the moment.
100%.
And I find it interesting, too, that he really never actually ever patted himself on the back for really anything. And he really did change a lot. What with the Packers when he got there, he changed how that program was going, and he became he just all of a sudden just starts showing up. And now you're talking about Jerry Rice and Sterling Sharp. He's starting to become that same name as those what we used to call the superstars. He was that guy, and the unfortunate piece to that, obviously was the career-ending injury. But as having him here, I don't know if I could be more thankful.
100%.
Yeah, that was
for
great.
him
It was so great
to come here and he could have called me.
Yeah,
he could have done anything and said, "Hey, man, what time's your show? Blah 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 blah. I can be on it because I'm on my way home." He ain't say nothing.
Could have gave us the superstar treatment.
Yes, he didn't. He didn't want any of that. He just came, just showed up, popped up, sit in the chair, and was ready to go.
Definitely an awesome moment, and I think the transition from the Hall of Famer, going to another football player again, who I think embodies sort of the heart and probably our intent of the show. Is Kurt Warner, a guy who is an absolute legend from, a very rural area of West Virginia, who I would say probably most people don't even know anything about, just from his time at Pineville, his time at Penn State, and obviously his time with the Seattle Seahawks, being an NFL running back. To me, this is kind of what we did, why this show started. Was to honor guys like him. He has the award named after him for the best high school running back. But again, most people probably just don't even know who he is. And I think for him to be on the show and for him to allow us to highlight who he is was big.
And to that, Hollis, and I want to thank you for even saying it that way, because Kurt is not, he's not the guy that's going to go out and chase any kind of attention. It's just not who he is. Mm-hmm. And I can remember, meeting him at the North-South, and he had gotten, the best player in the state of West Virginia, and
he was the Kennedy Award.
I think so.
Okay.
And Robert, who was Robert Alexander, who was my idol, he was. There was a conversation about who's the best between those two, and I was, it's hard for me not to pick Robert, but the thing about Kurt was he came to me and Eddie Ray Dias and connected with us as if we had been playing ball together all through high school,
right?
And it was amazing, and I'm going to tell this story, and I don't know what clip we might play if we play in a clip of him, but I can remember watching him the first day that he actually got out in the shoulder pads in the North-South game, And he was coming in. I think he came in maybe the third day. And Hollis, I don't know if you've ever seen, any clips of Gale Sayers or
I have, yeah.
That was the first person that came to my mind when I was watching him run.
That's high praise right there.
Man, I was like, oh my goodness.
You knew you were witnessing greatness, right?
You just knew. I knew that, man, I'm getting ready to play in the North-South game with one of the best players ever that I've ever physically seen.
Yeah. And again, to put it in context, if you have not watched clips, please go watch clips of this man in college specifically. This was a guy who played at Pineville, I think AA single A.
Single A. Could be single A.
Yeah, could be.
School in Pine. We're talking about a tiny, tiny school from Pineville, West Virginia, Mullins, West Virginia, in that area where Christy Martin's from. We'll talk about her in a minute. But and then gets a full scholarship to Penn State. And again, Penn State, when Penn State was Penn State. We're talking about Ohio State. To put it in context now, it's like going from, Independence High School or Shady Springs and you're going to Ohio State and being a starting running back
right out of the chute.
Running at a chute. I think his third play took a kickoff back to the house. I mean, we're talking about elite athleticism, jumping from the smallest of rural areas in West Virginia to the height of the heights.
And to accomplish all that, Hollis, to your
100%.
point, he to me, when he came across as just humble. There's nothing flashy about him.
No.
He had a conversation with us. It was, very just like somebody you'd have a conversation with at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
He didn't let you know that he did all these great things until you asked him. We had to question him to bring out all that information about what he did at Penn State.
And see, I be thinking that's a problem. You got to, hey man, let it hang out, man. Tell us what it is.
See, and
I think it's refreshing though. In a way.
I think I get what you're saying, Hollis.
Yeah.
But people don't hear it that way when you say it. They just don't hear
Deion.
That's a great example. Why is it that it's okay for Deion and it's not okay for me? I can't. If I walked around and tried to,
personalities, I get it, but I'm just saying, it just saddens me. We just don't know these great giants of athleticism. Let me and I don't think I asked this during the show. Did y'all play against each other when y'all were in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to tackle him.
And look, we are laying on the turf, laughing because I'm on top of him. And he's down on the pile, and he's looking at me, and he is laughing. We're laughing because we were thinking we went through the North-South, and I don't even think I ever tackled him at the North-South game because I don't think,
You probably wasn't hitting like that. Y'all wasn't hitting like that. So, you both play for the South.
And he killed the North, and now all of a sudden we're in the league, and I'm laying on the pile, laying on top of him, and he's laughing. He's laughing because he sees me before I know it was him, but I'm not thinking about laughing, and then I can't help it. But now I'm laughing. We're sitting there laughing. Again, NFL, during a game, two guys from West Virginia playing in the North-South, and we are on the football field in the National Football League together.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Can we listen to the clip for a minute? I want to hear some of it.
I mean, there's always a chip on one shoulder, and you've got to have a reason to say, I can play at this level. And I believe that I could play at that level from day one. But it wasn't just because it wasn't something that I thought about with regards to, am I second guessing what I can do and what I can't do? I felt as though I could play there. I belonged there. And now it's just an opportunity to get out there and show what you can
prove
do.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really, you got to prove it to a certain degree because nobody's going to give you anything, especially at that level, when you got 5, 6. I mean, I remember going into our running back room, and they had the guys on the board my freshman year, and there was like 7, 8 guys on that list. And I remember seeing that, and I was at the bottom of the list. And it wasn't because my last name was Warner. It's just that I was on the bottom of that list. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Well, when I get out of this camp, I'm not going to be on the bottom of this list when I finish here at this camp. But that's what I was saying to myself. But I was determined not to be on that bottom of that list when it was all said and done.
And see, that's the conversations I love to have, because again, he's talking his ish in his way. When you talk about, I'm big mind power science, and you implement those beliefs in yourselves, and it can really carry you. Because he could have came into Penn State with the same talent, the same ability, everything. But if he had doubt in his mind and he didn't believe in himself, he probably would have remained on the bottom of that list. And I just love stories like that, particularly a guy coming from West Virginia, a guy coming into the quote unquote big city or on the big stage. Same thing with you, and just having that belief above anything else, because it is the belief that's going to carry you, not necessarily your work, not necessarily even your talent. I mean, that's par, but you got to have a belief on top of all that.
And I think what's hard for a younger athlete to hear that clip and not hear it as maybe arrogant or something like that, and not see it as what it is. It's an individual confidence that you're saying that you knew that you could play at that level. Now, you get the chance and you do it, and you do it exceptionally. You didn't lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that belief carried you.
That belief carried you. And I think most of the time, I think the young athlete says something, but maybe doesn't believe it, and if he doesn't believe it, he won't work hard enough to achieve it.
Yeah, and it resonates because it's guy coming from where we're from.
Yeah, and you can just hear it in his voice. He doesn't really raise his voice. It's just kind of, in a monotone way. He says, my name wasn't going to be at the end of the bottom of the list by the time that the season started. He said it in a way like that's just matter of fact. Mm-hmm. He didn't get overly emotional. He just had a quiet drive about him, I think. I think he didn't have to go out there and try to be flashy or say, I'm the best. He showed he was the best.
Yeah, 100, but West Virginia way all the way. And when you look him up, that's Kurt with a C.
Yeah, so it is Kurt with a C.
And it is, and it's kind of shameful, because we shouldn't have to give out that information. Like, people should, for younger people, for sure. But again, we've hurt our children because we have not acknowledged our great athletes and kept their name alive, kept their success alive. We've failed in that category for whatever the reason. And I don't know if it's because you don't want the athlete to get cocky or whatever. But you can hear in the last two clips, you hear people talking about their individual confidence.
Yeah.
They're not selling that out to the public, but you're never going to be able to tell me, no, man, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, I think things just get lost with time, and hopefully, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do our part in preserving that history and bringing it to the masses.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Comment on episodes or suggest topics at our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee, and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, injured in a grocery store, or even wrongfully arrested or falsely accused of a crime. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Yeah, You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
You know, we have another athlete from that area who definitely got lost with time. You know, when we talk about, you know, the great Christy Martin and, you know, what she meant. Did y'all get to see the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I did.
Yeah, I did. It was really, really good movie. I think it, you know, as far as, you know, just got caught with maybe some bad timing as far as just the time in which it came out. But excellent movie, you know, just shows her story, fighting through adversity. And again, it's just another one coming from small town West Virginia, and not only being a women's boxing champion, not only being a trailblazer, but actually just pitting the sport on the mountaintop, carrying that torch for the Carissa Shields and the Alicia Baumgardner and everybody else, all the other women who are fighting not only just boxing, but combat sports in general. So when you talk about the Holly Holmes, when you talk about the Ronda Rouseys, when you talk about all these people, it was Christy Martin who brought that, who made it okay for women to get punched in the face on pay-per-view.
At least in the ring.
At least in the ring. Yeah. And it was just like, and again, just to have her, just to, you know, hear her story, everything she's went through and everything she's overcome.
And to have her in studio.
I was going to say.
Sterling, that was with her dog Champ.
Yeah, because
so
we thought,
cool.
we weren't thinking like she was going to, you know, come in. And she was adamant about, oh, no, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, okay.
And it's crazy because I met Christy at the airport here, you know, in town at Yeager, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, man, dang, she looks familiar. Like, I know her. And then she had her jacket on from her boxing promotion company. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's Christy Martin. And I just went up and introduced myself.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I straight up just was like, hey, I'm a fan. You know, I remember her fighting.
Coal miner's daughter.
On the Mike Tyson undercard. I'm like, this is from West Virginia.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to pique your interest. And again, same thing. Small town West Virginia to the mountaintop.
Yeah, and I also want to just commend her on her dedication to domestic abuse awareness and treatment. She took her personal pain and story and put it out there for others to see that, you know, you can get out of these situations. So that's a personal thing that she's taken to heart, and she's really working toward making, you know, strides in bettering that kind of situation.
100%.
I just think, again, I just think about these superstar people that we've had an opportunity to talk to and have on the show, and it amazes me how like where are they here? How do we keep them? How do we keep them alive? Like, how do we keep them present? How do we keep them notable? I just think that there's just we're missing something.
But I don't think so. I mean, we're doing it. We're doing our part.
And we're doing our part.
We can't speak for everybody else, but like, we're definitely doing our part into keeping these names alive and bringing them to the forefront. And like you said, we have them in the studio. We telling your story. Hopefully, we can, you know, do a second round with a lot of these individuals. So I think we're doing it.
I think so too.
I agree. I'm sitting over here and trying to assess, like, why is it not bigger? Why are they not, like, why, you know, I don't know.
I think but you know what? I think, again, from the onset, I think it was somebody had to do the due diligence for it to like spark, for it to begin. And I think we've positioned ourselves to be that plug. I mean, we may not be like the biggest platform, but I think that from what we do, hopefully others can get a little something from, and we can bring those individuals back on. Because I think, you know, again, I think it's easy when it comes to like mountaineer sports because everybody and their mama knows like Major Harris and Pat White and Steve Slayton and Trayvon Austin and Pac-Man. And we know all those guys because they're mountaineers. But if you really look at, West Virginia sports just holistically, I mean, we could just go through it. You can go to the guys from North Fork. You can go to so we have some WNBA players. We've had boxing, combat sports. We have all types of stuff that I think just go beyond WVU sports. So sometimes I think we get stuck there, but I think, hopefully our platform and others can start highlighting everybody else.
I was just going to say that, Hollis, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, most of these podcasts and platforms that have podcasts, they have a niche. It's either W sports, it's martial sports. I think what we've done, and not to toot our own horn, but we will, we've kind of showcased West Virginia athleticism. Yeah. We've brought in all the different sports and all the different, positions. And so what we're doing, I think, is unique to the state of West Virginia.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and to your points, I 100% agree because, I mean, just going through the list of people that we've had, I mean, those names are extremely great, not good, but great.
No, they're great.
Great,
names.
Even great individuals and athletes.
To knock someone out, you have to be willing to put yourself in position to be knocked out.
Oh.
You cannot be scared. You cannot have fear. You have to have the dog in you. You can talk dog all you want, but you got to show me. But I got up every morning early, ran 3.5 miles because Angelo Dundee said you're not a runner. You're 3 miles. That's what Ali did. So I figured if the greatest did it, I'll be okay. So my little track was 3.2 actually, and then I would do sprints, and then I would go to the gym and work about somewhere between 20 and 30 rounds. That was hand pads, heavy bag, shadow boxing, jumping rope, speed bag, all those things. And then I would go back to the gym and spar like 3 days a week. So, it was just boxing. I watched fights. I watched my opponent. It was 100%. My focus was on boxing.
So there wasn't much time for any so when you were off, you were probably more so watching.
I was never off. I really wasn't. I just, because Don King could call me anytime. And when he called, I was actually one time I was home at Christmas here in West Virginia, and he called me on Christmas Day and told me I was going to fight January 12th or 14th. So I got in the car and drove back to Florida to be ready for the fight. The good thing was I was running, I was in shape. So
because you were still doing all your stuff,
always ready. Because how am I going to tell Don King no, I'm not ready? Because you might not get that call again,
right?
And that's one thing I tell my guys. I'm like, you have to always be ready because some major promoter might call me and say, hey, we need a 130-pounder to fight so-and-so because some just fell out. Be ready. Be ready. You have to be ready. You're a professional fighter. That means that's your job.
Wow.
Yeah, and the golfer I was alluding to was Pro-Am golfer, West Virginia legend,
Pat Carter.
Pat Carter.
Yeah,
I want to say Phil so bad. But Pat Carter, I mean, and again, just somebody who's won title after title and just been a legend and golf with the biggest names that people may not know about. But we were lucky enough to have him as a guest on our show, and he, told us his story, going to Marshall and starting, being a part of the initial class of, golfers down there. So it's just like getting those stories out is just something I'm grateful for this show and this year.
It's a really amazing kind of idea of reaching out and hearing and getting a chance to pull in these individuals who are from West Virginia and hear their story from them.
Yeah.
Because you could have saw the movie. You could have read a newspaper article. You could have heard some things about them. But when they are talking, it is so different. But again, what comes across to me, what I hear coming out of Christy's conversation, again, is that quiet, almost
Scary.
Yeah,
In a way.
for real. Yeah, well, Chrissy
She's so
especially.
calm.
Yeah, she's so calm, and she's talking like, if you want to get in the ring, let's go.
Yeah, you look like I'm telling you, to really walk up on her, you could tell she'll give you a 1 too.
Yeah.
Like it ain't really there's no thing for her.
And so, are we discovering something in these interviews that's a common denominator with these athletes of being really self-confident? And again, I don't care how it comes across to somebody. To me, I hear it as self-confident and certain and sure of who and what they can do.
I think with the West Virginia athletes, and again, we've talked to Alexis Hornbuckle and Christy and Kurt Warner, specifically with the West Virginia athletes. It's not. I wouldn't describe it as self-confidence. I would describe it as just a burning belief. I think, West Virginians, we have a natural humbleness to us and, all those sort of West Virginia things. But specifically with the elite West Virginia athletes I've talked to, it's really just a belief. They just believe they can do it. And I think that beliefs come with a little bit of a chip, just considering where they're from, when they're competing against the world or competing against, the nation's best in whatever particular sport. So for me, what I've gathered is just it's just that burning, drive and belief.
And I also think that they we're a small state. We're not known for our professional athletes, our professional ball teams. I mean, basically, you're already, I don't want to say at a disadvantage, but in a way, you've got to go even harder because you're coming from this small state, and to prove that you're where you should be, that you've earned 100%. Your spot. And so that kind of contributes to their drive, I think. Just being a West Virginian makes it, even more special.
So are you saying that the state itself and how we function is a motivating factor, can be a motivating factor to the hometown athlete to give them the drive to want to be successful?
I don't know I wouldn't say that. I just say it's an example that it's possible. Your drive is on you and whatever that is for you. But it's just, if these athletes are where you're from, and in some cases, like a Kurt Warner, they're even way smaller than if you're Charleston, look like Metropolis compared to where he's from, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just saying, okay, they made it. It's maybe it's a chance that I can too. Like where I'm from and, my environment doesn't necessarily dictate where I can go. So it's just and again, that's why I think it's important to have those, women and men on, because it just serves as, hey, I can do that because they did that.
And Carl, you're an example of that. So did you ever feel like when you were coming, through Marshall, through the ranks to make it to the NFL level, did you ever feel like at times you had to go twice as hard as your teammates or to prove that you belonged?
To be honest, I felt like I was already going harder.
You already knew.
Yeah,
you were already going harder.
I knew that I was gonna outwork that guy. It didn't make any difference. We could be buddies all day long, but you're playing the position that I want to play. I got to beat you out. I just have always been for me and the method of my quote success has always been about who do I have to go after?
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to be playing the position that when I get there, somebody's going to be playing that position.
So you were so focused on your end goal that you really didn't think about, what you had to prove to people.
I wasn't really trying to prove. I was just
simply
simply trying to get. I needed Hollis out of the way. So I needed to get past him so that I could get in the lineup, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of another great female or woman West Virginian athlete, we got the chance to interview the great Alexis Hornbuckle.
Yes.
Who I consider, again, people may not consider it, but she's the greatest West Virginia basketball player of all time, men, women. Again, when we talk about McDonald All-American, high school All-American, collegiate All-American, she's won championships on every single level, high school, college, and pro. Played, I think some, not necessarily the Olympics, but the pro and the one of those Olympic type of games. I mean, when you consider, and again, won 4 straight championships in high school at 2 different schools. So she won 2 championships at Capital High School, 2 championships at South Charleston. I think one season Darnell averaged a quadruple double. She was simple, and I got to watch her firsthand. Simply amazing athlete, and again, another testimony of like what can happen, what can be, no matter where you're from. I mean, this a nationwide ranked, basketball player since she was 7th, 8th grade.
Do we have a clip for her, Matt? Oh, maybe we can hear that.
How important was it in your early development just to be an athlete, then kind of focusing that into being a great basketball player?
Man, it's important because how you do anything is how you do everything. So it doesn't matter what I'm playing or what I'm doing. I think it's a competition, which almost everything is to me. I want to learn it. Teach me. I want to learn it. Now I want to try it, and now I want to master it or dominate it. So, especially in the sport world, and I'm the younger sister. My brother and I were 15 months apart, so I'm trying to keep up with him, do what he does, and also, you know what I mean. And then growing up in the bottom in Dunbar and the Motown, it's just like you can't be soft. You can't. If I want to play with the boys, I gotta want to compete and beat the boys. So it just came down to like, I want to beat the boys. I don't want to be the best girl. Like, I want to be the best out here. Right. So that was soccer. That was basketball. And soccer obviously is an advantage when it comes to conditioning, agility, right, footwork, even court vision, because in angles, if I can make certain passes on a soccer field, what am I going to do in 94 feet? That's an easy money.
That's nice. So, I think about it like that. So what is Lexus Hornbuckle up to now? Yeah, and again, you just see again, it's that drive, that confidence, that willing to do what it takes to be the best. Again, that's not necessarily, and I wouldn't say those probably aren't West Virginia quality. That's probably any great athlete who wants to do anything. But I think it's just so important that we have those examples here, and you're really seeing like, look, man, if you really want it, this is an example of what it can be.
And part of it is saying it.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to say it, then you're going to put in the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really, I don't know if we have enough people who believe that success could be theirs, because they won't put the work in. It's the only piece that's holding them back.
Well, she did say, and I caught this, a couple of things I caught that really stood out to me, and I remembered it during the podcast when we replayed the clip, but everything is competition to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the 2 words that stuck out after that, she said, was dominate and master. She just didn't want to be competent. She wants to totally take over the game and be the best that's ever played the game as a female.
And again, I think she probably was just maybe a tad early as far as where we're at with women's basketball. Probably just a tad early. It like I said, there were obviously the WNBA was functioning when she was coming out of college and high school, but it wasn't where it's at now. But I will say she went to a premier program. She went to Tennessee, played for Pat Summerall. So it was just, like I said, again, going from South Charleston, Dunbar, West Virginia, to going to play for the premier program. It's not, again, similar to Kurt Warner, right? You're not going to, whatever school. You're going to the school for that particular sport. You look at UConn and Tennessee, and she was able to go to Tennessee and win championships there and going to have this great career. So it's just awesome to have like people like that. It was just awesome to interview her and not only just tell her story, but also get her insight to get that, her mindset when it comes to, being that kid and trying to, walk into those dreams that they had. So it was just awesome.
We've had a great year.
Yeah, really good year.
Yeah, we've been very, 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 very fortunate to actually have the name recognition.
And what about when we had your reunion? You're all of the Vikings. Oh my gosh, remind us of that, Carl. That was a fun evening.
Well, who were the names?
Yeah, who was?
We had Todd Scott, Vincey Glenn, and I think it was Audrey McMillan.
Okay, do we know where they went to school at, like colleges and?
Oh gosh, I should know, but
they all play for Minnesota.
But they all play for Minnesota. Yeah.
Okay.
That night was a hoot.
Yeah, that was fun.
that was for me. That was special. Because that was probably the first time that I had been on the call with all three of those guys at the same time. And we were fools. Like, I mean, we hung out and we just had a great time. But man, when it came down to playing, everybody was accountable. Everybody, if you give up a touchdown, you're going to hear it.
Right.
You know, now you can give up a touchdown, and we could say the D-line didn't get some pressure or whatever. That don't matter to the group. The group is our goal is not to give up.
Kept each other accountable.
Yes, to hold each other accountable. And man, and to be held accountable and looking at a guy that you know is your buddy who will go to any length for you, but you're accountable to him to be the best player on Sunday that you can be, which means you have to do all of the right stuff during the week.
Yeah. And we were able to get another Minnesota Viking on, Dante Culpepper, which was cool. Again, just a great guy, had great commentary, played with Randy Moss, obviously connected to you through the Vikings. We had some great coaches on. We had great just local talent. So like I said, I just think that this was just a fun year.
Greg Atkins from South Carolina, and Gamecocks. He's the offensive line coach.
Man.
We've been really, really, really blessed of the kind of people, that we've had on the show, whether it be by phone and even more so people who have come in.
And I just love the fact that we've hit almost every area of sports. I mean, we've had track stars.
Yeah. Yes.
We've had football, baseball,
yeah.
Basketball. I mean, we've hit almost everything. The only thing I think we haven't hit, have we hit hockey? We got to work on that this year.
We hit bodybuilding. We hit your nephew.
Yeah.
So we've hit, and again, that's another thing, just having the diversity where we're just not, like obviously, football, basketball, the big sellers.
Yeah.
People want to hear that. But just being able to have athletes across, the entire landscape of sports is pretty cool as well.
Well, because if you're out there listening and you do something, whatever that thing is, and all of a sudden the show that you watch, there's somebody on that's doing, like you said, like to the bodybuilding or whatever. That's not something that you think would. That probably wouldn't be on the show, but now all of a sudden you hearing somebody and telling their story about what they did, how they done it, and all those kind of things.
You go on a deep dive.
Yes.
Yes.
So who's your 2026 dream guest?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would and hopefully the audience, if anybody knows how to get in contact, Carl probably does, but I haven't. Randy Moss would be great.
Moss, awesome,
I'd love to have Randy on here.
Yeah, I would love to have him in studio. I'm sure.
Well, yeah,
Can I have more than one? Because I've got a list here. I'd love to have Rich Rod. I would love to have Rich Rod in here. I would love to have, Coach Gibby in here. There's a whole list of West Virginia athletes that I admire. I'd love to have.
I think to your two coaches, I think there could be a chance of getting them here. And I think one of it, part of that is going to. It's going to matter seasonal and all that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Especially if we want him in studio.
Yeah. Who's your dream guest?
Oh man. Gosh, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you mine.
We've already gone through all Carl.
I would love to get Nick Saban. We're talking about West Virginia guys. I would love to talk to Nick Saban.
Yep.
Just about. Not only his journey, being a West Virginia guy coming up, Kent State, and being his coaching legend, what he thinks of, we know what he probably thinks of current state of collegiate sports, and just being a West Virginia guy, like
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. And also the head coach of Indiana. He's a West Virginia guy.
Jimbo Fisher too.
Jimbo.
Let's just do a trifecta. Have all the West Virginia guys come back.
And I don't really think that Nick Saban could be that difficult to get. I don't.
Let's make it happen.
Carl,
let's make it happen.
I'm just
telling
saying,
you, it's basically our wish list.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's like Santa
we
over there.
Gave him before Christmas.
Sit on Santa's lap, tell him what we want for Christmas.
I think that Nick Saban may have an opportunity to want to talk about being from West Virginia, talk about his success back here in West Virginia. I think I think some of those types of people that seem totally out of reach, I think they would love an opportunity to have to come back to their state and have a conversation and talk about
let's make it happen.
And you know what? I was just going to throw the audience may have some people that they really love to listen to us interview. So if you can hit Carl Lee, Let's Talk with Carl Lee Facebook page, send a message to us, give us your wish list. We'll see what we can do.
And to that, again, I'd like for, we haven't really used our Facebook page a lot for questions or people wanting to say, hey, could you get this guest, or even could I be on about this?
Right.
I would like, that would be my goal, is if we could get the Let's Talk Facebook page active and, with not just people saying they like the show, we appreciate that obviously, but somebody who's interested in being on the show, or you have contacts to somebody that might be beneficial for the show as well.
So this is our call to action. So if you have a wish list, or if you have a contact to somebody you would like to have us interview, make sure you hit us on the DM in the Facebook page. So I know we're about to go. We're wrapping up. So just looking forward to 2026. We got the college football playoffs coming up. So we have Miami versus Ohio State. We have Oregon versus Texas Tech. We have Alabama versus Indiana, and we have Ole Miss versus Georgia. What are our picks? So we'll start with Miami v. Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl.
The Ohio State.
Ohio State. I got Ohio State, too. All right, Thursday, January 1st, we got Oregon v. Texas Tech in the Capital One Orange Bowl. So they'll both be traveling to Florida.
Oh, I'm going to have to go Texas Tech.
I'm going Texas Tech, too.
Yep.
I'm going to go Virginia Tech.
Yeah, just based off of travel alone. All right, then we have the Rose Bowl. So this is going to be in California. We got Alabama versus Indiana. So number 9 versus number 1.
I've got to go Indiana.
Go Indiana?
Yeah, even though Alabama scares me.
That scares me. I'm going to go West Virginia, so I'm going to go Indiana as well.
Oh, gosh. Now you put that pressure out there.
Yeah, I'm going with my West Virginia guy.
Alabama?
Go Alabama?
He's just
it ain't a bad pick. Alabama's scary. Alabama been there.
They look pretty good.
All right, last one. So we got in the Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss versus Georgia.
Georgia.
I'm going to Ole Miss there.
Oh,
I want to see Ole Miss.
I would love to see it.
I've been put on record. I never root for Ole Miss for a variety of reasons, but I want to see Ole Miss get that one, and I think they got the chip on the shoulder. I think they can. I think they may be able to pull that off. So we'll see.
They got a Lane Kiffin chip on their shoulder.
And like I said, they played. Georgia kind of ain't played in a couple weeks. So we'll see.
Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it hurts.
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you all year long being with us, and we hope that we can grab some more listeners and grow the show for next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's, everybody. We are out of here.